You know, you only get one head. So if that head's gonna spend any time on track, having the right helmet and making sure that helmet fits properly is of paramount importance. We're in the shop today to show you how to do just that. Finding a helmet that fits properly is a process. It's not just a solution. And what I want to teach you today is how to best engage in that process. Now, I'm lucky. I found this ST5 from Stilo, fits my head fantastically. And Stilo also offers a couple of sizing aids, we'll talk about those later, to help me actually get a semi-custom fit to my goofy looking head here. So there's all those options out there as well. Some weird stuff can happen though. When I measure my head, I might go to the Simpson website and find that they actually call for a large size helmet for me, or even a medium sized helmet. As the old saying goes, one size does not fit all, because heads come in way more different shapes than helmets. That's why the best advice that I can give you is find some place you can try a helmet on. Now, a lot of manufacturers and a lot of retailers have at-track outlets that they will travel the country, they will set up at tracks around the country, and they will have a bunch of helmets there ready for you to try on. That is absolutely the best way to find a properly fitting helmet. Now, if you can't do that, what I would encourage you to do is do as much research as possible. Talk to the manufacturer's reps. They are very accessible, and generally they're very knowledgeable, and they're people that go on track themselves and can give you a lot of feedback on what type of helmet, what size fits what particular head shape. Talk to the retailers. The retailers deal with all different brands, all different people. They can give you a lot of feedback. And talk to your friends. The great thing about the racing community is it is a community. In fact, go right down here in the chat below this video. Tell us what kind of helmet you have, tell us what kind of head you have, and maybe you'll help somebody else out who's also looking to fit a proper helmet to their head. Now, when you finally start looking, the first thing you're going to have to do is properly measure your head. So the only thing you really need to properly measure your head is a flexible measuring tape. These are available in the sewing section of any major department store, or at any craft or hobby store, or at any sewing goods store. I'm also going to recommend that you use the metric scale to measure your head, as it's going to be a bit more accurate. I want you to wrap it around your head at the widest part of your head, which is usually going to be about midway between your brow and your hairline. Helps to have a friend do that so you can get the exact measurement without having to take your fingers and move them. See if that's the widest spot. Measure in a few different places until you get the largest possible measurement. Once you get that measurement, you can go to the manufacturer's website. You can find what their ideal size is for your particular head diameter. Now, a lot of manufacturers are going to have different recommendations for different head shapes, and one of the first things you're going to see is that a lot of people have very sort of top-heavy heads. Small neck, small face, but their head flares out towards the top. I have a more bullet-shaped head. My head is fairly straight all the way down, which is why I tend to need a little bit bigger helmet, and I don't have quite the big crown in the back. So know what shape head you have, know what shape face you have, and know what might work based on the recommendations that the manufacturers have already learned based on customer feedback. So the next thing you want to account for is a balaclava. Now, if you want your helmet to last forever, first off, I recommend you always wear one of these, even if you're just autocrossing, especially if you autocrossed in the South like we do, because these will take the brunt of your sweaty, disgusting head juice, and your helmet won't, and that will help your helmet last a lot longer. But when you're fitting a helmet, you also have to remember that these take up space. Now, I'm holding two in my hand, and they are both materially different thicknesses. In fact, I would estimate that just based on the thicknesses of these, there's going to be a 3 to 4 millimeter difference in the total circumference of my head, whether I'm wearing this one or this one. And there's going to be a difference in the circumference of my head, whether I'm wearing one of these or nothing at all. So do your measurement with one of these on, and also try your helmet on with a balaclava on whenever you possibly can. We've got our helmet. In our case, we've got a Stilo ST5 here that we got from our friends at Simpson. Big fan of this helmet, fits me fantastically. So if you're looking at me and you're going, I got a head just like that dude, maybe start here, because that might be a good tip. I'm going to try this on. I'm going to show you how a helmet should fit. So you should be able to pull your helmet on directly over your head using the straps without any undue pressure. It's going to be snug. An ideal helmet should probably be more snug than you might think. But once you get it on, before you even deal with any of the retention system, you should feel pressure all around your head and face. You should feel contact around your eyes. You should feel contact around the entire crown of your head. You should feel contact in your cheeks, top of your neck, and the back of the crown of your head. You also should have very little room, in fact, no room, to rotate the helmet like this. If you rotate the helmet like this and your skin doesn't go with it, that helmet is too loose. Same here. If you pull the helmet up and down and your head skin doesn't jingle up and down with it, that helmet is too loose. So I'm a glasses wearer. I always want to try those glasses on with that helmet and make sure you have a proper fit and you can properly get those glasses into that helmet. Of course, they instantly fog up, so I will take these right back off. But make sure you try that on before it's too late, before you're on the grid and it's too late to do anything about it. Next thing you want to do is engage the retention system, which is a fancy way to say do up the strap. The Stilo ST5 has a nice long chin strap. Makes it very easy to do it up, even with gloves on. Once that retention system is engaged, you want to try and pull the helmet off your head. If you can get this thing off with the strap engaged and fully tightened, this helmet is too loose. Push up on the front, pull up on the back, push from the sides, try and rotate it. If this stays on your head, if that retention strap does its job, this helmet fits properly. So the next thing you want to look at when you're looking for a helmet is what sizing aids does the manufacturer provide. Now in the case of the Stilo ST5, it's great because Stilo has different size cheek guards you can install in the helmet. They look like this. They snap easily in and out of the helmet, and they make a great adaptation for somebody like me who has big, full, luscious cheeks to get that helmet properly sized and not be pushed up by the helmet. You can still talk, you can still breathe properly, but it's not putting undue pressure on your face. So just having the option of additional sizing aids inside the helmet, like different cheek guards, different head rings, makes for a great way to customize a helmet to your head. Now, one thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to ever try and do any of that stuff on your own. You should not go in and try and cut any of the padding, modify any of the padding, especially the impact padding in any of these helmets. That will render this helmet void as far as a safety piece of equipment goes, and it's going to void your warranty. It actually makes it a lot less safe. So never modify your helmet outside of any manufacturer recommendations, and if you're trying to size your helmet to your head, make sure you use the manufacturer's sizing accessories to do that. So you may end up in a position where you find yourself between sizes if you're dealing with a manufacturer that has sizes that jump a few centimeters between, say, medium and large, large and XL. In those cases, the best weapon you have to properly size that helmet to your head, like we mentioned before, is different thicknesses of balaclavas. You can find one that's a little bit thicker, you can find one that's a little bit thinner, you can find one that more properly helps that helmet fit to your head. Also, if you're between sizes, you may find that using a different size cheek pad gives your entire head enough room to properly fit in there. You might just be between sizes on one part of your head, not the totality of the helmet. So check and see what accessories that manufacturer has to properly fit that helmet to your head, because you do have options. So you found that magic helmet to fit your head, and the next big question is, what can I do with that helmet? Well, the thing that's going to determine what you can do with that helmet is whatever the SA code is inside it. The SA code is a code from the Snell Foundation. It's going to show you what safety standard based on what date that helmet is built to. This Stilo ST5 is an SA 2015 helmet. That means special application, such as motor racing, closed or open wheel motor racing. There's other Snell certifications like M, which is a motorcycle designation. But generally for on-track work, we're looking for an SA designation. And we're also looking for, at this point, a 2015 or newer designation. Very soon, anybody with a 2010 helmet out there could find themselves taken off of the legal list for many sanctioning bodies for going on track. Now, if all you're doing is autocrossing, you're probably fine for a few more years, but a lot of on-track sanctioning bodies, especially wheel-to-wheel sanctioning bodies, are going to start requiring a minimum of an SA 2015 helmet. Now, we're recording this in late 2021, so depending on when you're watching this, make sure to check the rule book for whatever sanctioning body you are participating with. And if you're participating outside of the US, or even with some higher end sanctioning bodies in the US, you may also need a helmet with an FIA certification. In most cases, an FIA certified helmet will be identical to its SA certified counterpart, just that the manufacturer has gone through the extra step to get that certified by the FIA. But because that is an extra step, some manufacturers don't bother doing that extra step if all they do is sell helmets in the US. So make sure you know what sanctioning bodies you're going to be running with. Make sure you know what requirements those sanctioning bodies have for their helmets, and make sure your helmet meets those requirements. I hope you learned something today, and I hope you're not discouraged that this may be harder than you think, but the payoff is you will be more comfortable on track, you will be safer on track, and ultimately you will be happier on track with a properly fitting helmet. If you'd like to get your hands on one of these ST5s, we'll throw a link to the folks at Stilo right down below this video. And if you'd like to check any of our stuff out at Grassroots Motorsports, follow us online at grassrootsmotorsports.com. Please like and subscribe to this video, and tell us about your own helmet experience down in the comments below. We'll see you out in the shop next time.
Support brands that support Grassroots Motorsports. Get your chemical solutions from CRC Industries. Visit crcindustries.com to learn more.